this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Hello, everybody. I don't have a just chatting feature yet on this new PNG GIF tuber. It's not a PNG tuber, it's a GIF tuber. It's still a work in progress. So, yeah. And in the meantime, as promised, a stream this Friday. And we will be working on... Wait, actually, I should update my task list. The Path to Brighter Stars. Page 1. A redraw. Because it is our 5-year anniversary of not only working on the comic, but also streaming the comic on YouTube. Which, I mean, holy shit. 5 years is a long time to do anything, really. Especially when you say, oh wow, when you thought within 5 years the comic would have been over by now. Nopey, nopey, nope, nope, nope. Do you have faith in God above? The Bible tells you so. Do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? Can you teach me how to dance real slow? Now I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both took off your shoes. Man, I did those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage bronco bard with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, and knew I was out of luck the day the music died. I don't know why I got that song stuck in my head. Currently, I didn't even listen to it. I just heard a video playing the song Paint It Black. So I don't know why I got American Pie stuck in my head. Probably because it's actually a fun song to sing. Once you remember the lyrics, American Pie is really fun to sing. We were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. And that's about as far into the song as I remember. I used to be able to just remember lyrics off the top of my head. Well, at least a little better than I used to. But now I have the superpower where I could probably go weeks, months even, without listening to a song, and just, if you asked me what the lyrics were, it's like, off the top of my head, can't remember. But the second the song starts playing, boom, all the lyrics come flooding back. I think it's a performance thing. I wasn't a theater kid in high school because, well, we didn't have that at school, but when we did have plays, I was usually involved because, you know, extracurricular credits, and I don't think those actually counted for credits. I don't remember. I mean, they probably did. I didn't care about that. I just liked being part of a performance because I didn't do sports. We didn't have drama club. We didn't have any of that. remember being confused when people say, "Oh, were you a theater kid or a band kid?" And I'm sitting there like, those were required curriculum for all students at my school. So what do you mean? We all had to take band. We all had to take choir. So what are you talking about? But then, big schools, you were allowed to have choices. If I sound sick, it's just because um the winds in my area have picked up a bit and there's just smoke everywhere. And it's not fun. So I've been sneezing quite a bit. Now, the good news in my area is that it rained a little bit yesterday night, and it's still a little overcast today, so that's awesome. If I had remembered that it was the 5-year anniversary, I probably would have watched the old live stream because it's still up on the channel. That live stream where I drew the first page for Path to Brighter Stars is still up. If you just go to my live streams and then hit oldest, it's not the first live stream, but it is one of. And they were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Then good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. Because it rained and because I'm so ready for summer to be over, I've been listening to a lot of fall music. So maybe that's why American Pie is on my mind, because it's sort of about football, but not really. It mentions football. And football's a fall sport, so that's probably it. Bad news is we still got another 2 months of summer. So that means I'm getting hyped for nothing. Another thing that is overtaking my brain currently, y'all, chat, it took so much willpower to not just say just dip on stream and then just watch Marble Hornets in the background, because I found this web series called Black Horizon, and it was kind of like a love letter slash reference to Marble Hornets, part of the Slenderverse, the found footage Slenderverse, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. A lot of what they did was very reminiscent of Marble Hornets, and at first I thought they were just being a cheap ripoff, trying to, capitalize on the popularity. But then when I realized, oh, no, wait, this is a love letter to Marble Hornets. This is paying homage. Oh, okay. I misjudged you. Perhaps I treated you too harshly. But unfortunately, they paid homage to Marble Hornets a little too much, because now I'm rewatching Marble Hornets. It is so weird. I was talking to my sister about this the other day. It is so weird to tell someone that my favorite internet series to this day is Marble Hornets when nothing happens in the first 2 hours. Just in the first hour of the series, which is like all of season 1. barely anything happens. You know, that's mind-blowing. For the time, absolutely. First found footage internet series that involves Slender Man, or, you know, the operator. It was amazing. And it still is, man. It still is amazing. I will forever sing its praises. To the day I die, I will be singing Marble Hornet's praises. I'm gonna give her just a little bit of tool beans. There we go. I know realistically, Hawkbane at the time, because she isn't Hawkstar yet in page 1. Hawkbane should, you know, like, be showing more. She should have some nipple showing, but YouTube don't like nipple. Internet does not like nipple. They offend, even if they're animal nipple. So, I don't know. Apparently nipples are too sexy for the internet. Which I don't get at all. Because every human being has one. Is what it's saying. Oh, you can't show, you can't show any ankle. Ankle is too sexy. Even though we all have ankle. We've all seen ankle. Boys can walk around with their ankles out. Why can't women? I need to remember to draw a drinking toggle for this. For the GIF. And yes, I do say GIF, not GIF. GIF is the peanut butter. GIF is the graphic. What does it stand for again? Graphic image framing or something like that? I don't care what the original creator says. It is GIF. Because the G in graphic is a G sound. So that means in the acronym it should also be a G sound. Like ASAP. You wouldn't say ASAP. No, ASAP. As soon as possible. ASAP. I love it when people spell out the acronym. They say ASAP. It's like ASAP. ASAP. It is as soon as possible. ASAP. It's so much faster than ASAP. Okay, I've done enough futzing around on the line art. I'm gonna... I am going to put this line art on a separate layer for the most part because there's so many layers to all of them. There's so many layers to all these characters. I'm tempted to go anti just to keep the pixels down. Because then when I zoom out, it's like a full view, you're not even gonna notice. How would they know? How would they know? That's not what that meme means in this instance, but I don't care. They were singing bye-bye this American pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Okay, I swear in whatever cosmic being there is, that I did not sound and feel this stuffy and much of a sore throat this morning. Like, I've been awake for 2 hours now, and I felt fine. A bit of sneezing here and there, but I felt fine. The second I sit down and hit go live, bleh, something's happening. My autoimmune system is malfunctioning. Hello? Like, I was sitting at the computer for a while, too. Not a dang thing happened. Second I hit go live, my nose is itchy. I can feel my throat. It's got a little something in the back of it. Not like phlegm or anything, but I can like feel my tonsil going like, oh, wait, hold on. There's a bit of a sickie coming in. I'm like, great. I haven't skipped my allergy medicine. But then again, my allergies have been really bad recently. And I think it's because all the cats are shedding. You know what? That's it. All the cats are shedding. I'm not completely allergic to cats, but, you know, just allergic enough to make it a problem. For it to be a problem. Helter skelter in a summer swelter. I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. I have my window open because it's really nice out, so I apologize if the truck noises are a bit much. Oh, that was perfect! Shit! I was too quick draw McGraw on that one. There we go. The only thing that was back here. Damn. There we go. Actually, no, that's Snowblaze's ear type. Shoot. Okay, hang on. Yes, I know the ear types of my OCs. You got to assign them. For cats, you got to assign 2 things to keep them consistent. Cheek wefts and ear shape. There you go. That's how you keep a character consistent. If you don't do that, they're gonna look weird. And like completely different characters in every other frame. Be mindful. I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. And we were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. That's also Snowblade. Is it? Wait, is that Snowblaze's hair? It kind of is. Damn. Maybe Vader someday later, now he's just a small fry. And he left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. You know, I probably was singing American Pie in the old live stream. You know what? I'm gonna have to go back and look. I know in a lot of streams I sang Through the Trees by Low Shoulder. Because, oh my god, that song still one of the best songs ever. Not as good as Iris by Doo Doo Dolls. Don't get it twisted. But, yeah, Through the Trees, Low Shoulder. Holy shit, that song still makes me cry. I haven't even seen that movie. I do plan to. I do plan to watch I do have a watch list going on for spooky season. I don't think I'd watch them on stream. Not by a long shot. I wouldn't watch movies on stream. Unless it was a movie that I've seen before and I want to talk about with chat, especially if I know a lot of behind the scenes, because the behind the scenes of any movie to me is honestly the best part. Is I watched The Thing the other day after watching how the production was. I watched a video from the channel. It was a shit show. That's the legit name of the channel. And they just talked about the behind the scenes of classic movies, which is really cool. I absolutely love that part. Love that part? What? I absolutely love the behind the scenes. And for The Thing, the kennel scene was the part that made people walk out of the theater. In fact, one woman ran out of the theater during the kennel scene and accidentally vomited in front of the producer's wife. Producer or executive producers. One of the executives, she just happened to be in the bathroom, and the woman did not make it to a stall and just went bleh, all over the floor. And I say why. That kennel scene, for the time, even for me now, watching it, was very upsetting. And it was mostly upsetting for me because the dogs were very good actors. A lot of good boys and girls. I hope they got all the treats and head pats for that performance, because oh my goodness, that was so upsetting. And I would think, for the time, since nothing like that had ever been done before, not in a A-list Hollywood film, I can see why people were like, nope, no, 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 we're just noping out of the theater. In fact, a little fun thing behind the scenes, one of the, I don't know if he was the, special effects artist or something, but he had overheard two guys saying like, man, I can't believe they actually killed those dogs for the movie. It's like, and he was like, yes! They thought it was real! I did my job! Like, oh my god. Did y'all think that was actually allowed? Was that allowed? But now you could, like, that's not allowed. You can't, like, no animals were harmed in the making of this film. That's... There's laws in place now. And a lot of people say, oh, Hollywood is just getting it. It's, all the laws have gotten into movie making. Now we're not allowed to do anything. It's like, you know, the laws require that you, A, pay your actors, that everyone gets paid wages, no one can be killed on set, and you can't hurt animals. In what world is that a bad thing? Now, of course, there are other rules involved, like, mandatory breaks and whatnot. No, not sharp. Oh, I figured it out, guys. I figured out, why my transform tool was making things fuzzy. It's because there was a setting right there. And, hang on, let me show you. What used to happen is, I put it on sharp. I would transform something, and it would get fuzzy, and I would hate it. Right here, it says bicubic sharp, and then there's bicubic smooth. And now, bilinear smooth, and then there's nearest neighbor jaggy. So now, there's no stray pixels. Yes, it does still get a little fuzzy, but, you know, that's easier to clean up than a bunch of stray pixels that cast a lot of... a lot of... So, I mean, I know movies are fake. And that everything you see in Hollywood isn't real. But still, when a movie gets such a visceral response, such as running out of the theater, ready to vomit, I can't tell. I mean, it's definitely a compliment to the VFX, to the visual effects department, because wow, you did your job so well that even though I know this is just a movie and puppetry was involved, holy crap, you gave me such a visceral reaction. I mean, that's why when the movie Life, watching that for the first time, I turned off the movie. I could not handle the movie. When, I don't even remember any of their names, when Ryan Reynolds' character got killed, I was just, oh my Jesus, that was just the first death. It's only gonna get worse from here. I literally the-thinged myself. And thankfully I wasn't in the theater, because I would have walked out. I would have just hid in the bathroom being like, no, couldn't do it, because my sister and I were watching it in the living room. That scene came on, we were hiding in the kitchen, we were like, no, turn it off. It's just the visceral, I know it was fake, and it was all CGI, but the visceral, oh my god, dog. the visceral response to just the idea of that alien thing eating him from the inside out was just, ugh. It made me so queasy. Even though I'm an Aliens fan, like, I can handle xenomorphs, facehuggers, and chest bursters, sort of. But that thing in that scene in Life, ugh. Oh, I hate that movie so much. Not just because of that scene, because after watching that movie, it was like, hey, actually, retrospectively, compared to the rest of the movie, that scene's the best part, because that ending was so... I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much. The ending pissed me off. No, that's not the right. Okay, so I'm going to skip around, and I'm going to draw Splash Paw here, because he's baby. I am not going to finish this page, I'm realizing. We are 35 minutes in, and I'm still on the line art because I refuse to work on it away from Strom. Because I'm fine with movies having an ambiguous and kind of darker... Excuse you. And darker ending, but holy crap. Can we... Oh, I don't know. Maybe not imply that the world ended? I mean, it just pissed me off. I don't know. I can handle grimdarks in some regard, and I can handle, oh shit endings, especially in movies and horror films and creepypastas. But I don't know, that just kind of made me mad. I think it's because I already rage quit through the film, and then other people's like, no, I swear, it's really good. It's really good. You should watch it. You should just give it another chance. And I was like, okay, fine. One more chance. And then I watched the film, and it was just, okay, that's it. That's the movie that you told me to rewatch again. I could have gone my whole life, haha, without watching that movie, and I would have been fine. But now, I'm sitting here, grossed out and pissed off. Ugh. Which is absolutely hilarious because I love The Thing. And that ending is very ambiguous, but it's not like... It's not the kind of ending where the Thing got to the mainland and started infecting everybody. That's what Life basically was. With the Thing, it's like, ooh, who's the Thing? Are they both is he infected, or are they both infected now? Like, what's going on here? Ah, people are still arguing about the ending to this day. With Life, it was final. I think that's why. It was not an ambiguous ending. It was a final ending. It was just, yep, the world's fucked. I was like, okay. I mean, I like endings that imply a bit of, just invite more discussion. That's what I like about movies with, ambiguous endings. You invite discussion. Now, with Life, it didn't show the world ending, but it kind of implied that the world is doomed now. All is lost. We're all doomed. They're all gonna die. Wasn't that an entertaining movie? No, actually, it wasn't. Did not appreciate that tentacle scene. That was thinly veiled. Very thinly veiled fetishism on the director's part. That was actually very gross. Anyway. I'm not saying every movie has to have a happy ending. You know, like I said, the Thing, that's not a happy ending because everyone dies. Spoilers for a movie that's over 40 years old now. Well, okay, everyone except McCready and Childs dies at the end, but it's kind of implied that they are going to eventually freeze to death. And it's not like with Planet of the Apes, where it showed the infection spreading at an airport at the end of the movie, because Planet of the Apes, or Rise of Planet of the Apes, was setting up a post-apocalyptic movie where humans had died off and apes had risen as the new dominant life form, and then how humanity eventually, in the old movies, lost the ability to speak and had regressed to Neanderthal-like creatures, because it basically shows that apes and humans swapped places in this post-apocalyptic world, because it was connecting to the original film about time travel. Because a lot of people don't realize the original movie is about time travel. Which is kind of upsetting that Kingdom of Planet of the Apes kind of regressed the plot. Like, I thought it was going to be about the rise of Cornelius, because Cornelius in the original films, he was like the main guy. He was a huge figure from what I remember. It's been a long time since I've seen the originals. I do like how they added that Caesar's message was corrupted by his weaker followers, and then they became this kind of cult thing. But then when they showed that some humans were immune, and then that they were connecting satellites and whatnot, and that there were a group of people that didn't regress, like a large group of people that didn't regress, I'm sitting on, okay, where are you going from here? Because we're kind of just back to square one. We're right back where we started with War or Dawn. War or Dawn. Dawn and War are kind of the same movie, except I think War set up the sickness. Like the regression sickness, because Dawn showed that the modern humans were then immune to the actual flu sickness, and how the apes were rising up. But then War set up the regression sickness, which was a major part of the original films. When the human from the future started talking, they were like, "Oh my, that's not possible. Humans don't talk." That the apes had no idea that humans could speak. It was just a shock to them. And when he showed them like old picture books of apes in cages and not being able to talk, it was blasphemy. It was just unheard of. So when Kingdom ended with them connecting satellites and the other apes looking through a telescope at something, probably just the moon, but they never showed us what it was. They never showed us what they were looking at. I'm thinking it was just the moon, but then this is, all right, Kingdom, you did something sort of cool. But now we're back to where we started with some humans being immune and other humans succumbing, and they were losing, a lot of them lost the ability to speak. And yeah, Caesar died at the end, leaving his son and Maurice in charge. But the fact that Cornelius wasn't even in Kingdom is it kind of pisses me off that Cornelius wasn't in Kingdom. Because when it's mentioned that Caesar has a son named Cornelius, it's like, oh, that's a reference to the old movies. Set it up. And then they didn't. I think they even... No, Cornelius survived at the end. Okay, I couldn't remember. One of his eldest son and wife were killed off screen in war. Which I'm like, okay. Dick move. Anyway. I make his own, right? Man, I just had the worst fear that my mic wasn't on the whole time. God, that would have been so awful. Okay, that eye is too far. So anyway. What was I even originally talking about? I was talking about the thing. I was talking about behind the scenes. Because I was talking about watching movies on stream. That's what I was talking about. Good God! Went on a bird walk. Oh, apparently there's a new game called Birdwalk. I haven't looked into it, but I know Jacksepticeye played it, so maybe I'll check it out. Anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't watch movies on stream unless it's a movie that I have seen before and wanted to talk about, like the behind this, to pause and talk, because just having the movie play in the background with me watching, like reaction content style, kind of feels disingenuous. I don't know how to explain it besides it feels like I'm just grifting off of their content while you just see my head in the corner eating popcorn. Because when I watch a movie for the first time, or watch any content for the first time, I lock in. I'm locked the fuck in. Which is why, you know, when I first started watching The Owl House, I was like, alright, we gotta put everything down, and so I can just binge this series, just so I can get it over with. But in doing so, I kind of missed out on a lot. Like, some things would happen, I don't know, I mean, oh, cool, and then later I would read someone making a post about something, and I'd be like, when did that happen? When the hell did that even happen? What are you talking about? And then my sister would be like, oh yeah, in this episode, when this and that happened, and I was, oh yeah, I guess that did happen. I was not paying attention. Because I wasn't. I was a lonely teenage broken boy with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, and I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. Okay. And we were singing bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, oh my god, there's a big truck going by. Y'all probably can't even hear it given my noise gate, but just in case. A little funny backstory behind this pose. I have a cat. Well, we have a cat named Bucky. And when she really wants to rub on someone, she jumps up on her hind legs to do it. So I thought, oh, why don't I just draw Hazelpaw doing that to Splashpaw to show that he's really happy to see him. That is way too small. Alright, hold up. And they were singing bye, bye, Miss American Pie. From the Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Oh, some other good news in the area that is giving me a bit of life. Spirit Halloween is in town. I haven't bought anything from Spirit yet, but I did buy a bunch of things from Hot Topics, which was like basically right across the mall. And I forgot to post a picture of this on my YouTube. My Iron Lung shirt came in. Finally. I realize, you know, I understand that they've been busy, but it's just, I'm so happy to have my shirt come in, finally, my merch. Which is funny because when, my mom ordered a bunch of stuff from the store, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll like a shirt, please. That one's cool. And then like months later, our Iron Lung order came in. I'm sitting here, and I was sitting thinking, like, what did I even get? So it was a surprise for me when I got the shirt in the order. It was like Christmas morning. I didn't know what I was getting. Hey, Slush. Welcome to the stream. I am working on redrawing page 1 of my comic for the 5-year anniversary while talking about anything and everything, but I had just finished saying that my Iron Lung merch order just came in the mail. And I'm so happy. I need to remember to post a picture of that shirt because it is a darn cool shirt. I love it so much. I'm gonna wear it as much as possible. I actually do want to be more mindful of how I wash my clothes now because I don't want the design to get fudged up. Especially since I also, from Hot Topics, got a shirt for Murder Drones. And it's the one with Sin and Tessa. I was like, ooh, wow, I really don't want this shirt to get messed up. So I'm reading all of the instructions on the tag. I'm looking at the washing machine settings. I'm actually putting effort into my clothes now because I really, really don't want the design to just die in the wash. I'd die. So how have you been? And enough about me. That looks bad. Oh, that's why. Because this leg is supposed to be bent more. And then this leg is supposed to be stretched. So that means I need to... No, the foot's fine. I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. Five years of working on this cat comic, and I still don't know how to draw paws. Hey, Gestrogen. No, no idea who you are, but your art's really nice. Thank you. This is 5 years of hard work. Of just the comic. And I still have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. That's, I mean... That's kind of how cats move when they're... Well, I'm trying to remember what my cat looks like when she does this. Oh, God, I got a sneeze incoming. Nope. Never mind. Ugh. smoky out. It's also harvest season, so there's a bunch of wheat dust in the air that cats are shedding. I can't wait for summer to be over. Okay. Just out of curiosity, any actual, real, unironic summer enjoyers in the chat right now? Show of hands. Out yourselves. Because I have some genuine questions for your sanity. I shouldn't be mean. I mean... No, okay, so... Oh my goodness. There are some people that unironically enjoy summer, and I'm just, alright. First of all, why? Name 5 good reasons why you enjoy this season. Second of all, if you didn't have air conditioning, would you actually enjoy summer? Do you engage in hard manual labor out in that sun? No? Then sit down. If you were one of the people that genuinely love summer and you're outside in the heat doing yard work and actual hard manual labor and you still like summer, you know what? I'll yield. I'll sit down. But for the other crazies that are like, oh boy, I just love summer. And then they're just inside in air conditioning the whole time. It's like, no, you don't like summer. You just don't like winter. There's a big difference. I like winter because I'm outside in winter. I'm shoveling the driveway in winter. I am doing hard manual labor in winter and spring and fall. I enjoy those seasons. Say 34C over here. Oh, you're in England. Oh, rip. No AC, you're gonna die. I don't have any advice for anyone in England because my advice for summer is honestly just don't live anywhere. If you couldn't tell, I'm an American, and in some states, it is literally illegal to not have air conditioning because of how hazardous the heat can get. And the way our houses are built, we actually can have air conditioning without it possibly causing mold or a fire. And even if we do have chances of mold or fire with air conditioning, we still have it anyway because it's our God-given right to have black mold in the house, apparently. Now, I live in an area that is essentially a desert, so I don't have to worry about mold in that regard whenever I run the AC, but sometimes it does leak, and then we have to get it fixed. But the hottest it's ever gotten here, and I don't know what this is going to be in Celsius, I only know it in freedom units. And it was 115 degrees here a few years ago for like a week. And that was hell. I opted to just work nights. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to be conscious when it's that hot out. I'll just have the AC on. I'll have the fan pointed right at my head. I'll sleep through it. I didn't. I had very shitty sleep because I would just wake up every hour dehydrated as hell. And then just stay up all night, and it would still be hot. Well, the reason why summers in my area are so... got me genuinely pissed off is because my state is also on fire. So we can't just crack a window when it's too hot, because then we'll get smoke in the house. And in my area, the smoke is so thick, ash is literally snowing from the sky. My garden is covered in a layer of ash. It's just, oh my god. God help us if another volcano blows in my state, because then we're just not gonna survive. We'll just die. I don't mean to complain all the time about the heat and summer and whatnot, but it's getting hot in here. Hang on. Give me a minute. I had to turn my own fan on, even with the window open. Thankfully, it did rain a day or the other day, so that's nice. America really does sound post-apocalyptic sometimes. Yeah, don't listen to the news. Ask the people. And even then, don't listen to all of the people, because some of them, like me, just like to bitch. And it's actually not that bad. It's just sometimes it's either minorly inconvenient or genuinely awful, but we've just become so desensitized to it. Other countries are like, oh my god, you're just okay with that happening? It's like, oh, we're not okay with it. We just can't do anything about it. So... Alright, how are we looking so far? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna save, because I forgot to do that. Okay, now we're gonna switch back over to this guy that everyone loves to hate. That is making me so happy. Like, I knew when I was writing and conceptualizing this character, Short Tail, that people probably weren't gonna like him, or maybe... I was more afraid people were gonna find him annoying and then give up on the comic because he was so annoying. That's the wrong expression. But then, you know, people just really latched on to just loving to hate him. And I was like, oh, that makes me happy. Especially when, in some instances, I've gotten comments that are just literally my dream come true. They're like, man, I hate that he's right here. He kind of has a point and I hate it. I'm just... I did my job as a writer! No spoilers, though. If you want to read this comic that I am working on, shameless plug, I have it posted in 2 places. On my DeviantArt, and recently I've started posting it on Comic Fury, which is linked. Both are linked in the description. Now, the Comic Fury one isn't completely caught up, so if you want to catch up with the comic immediately, it's all on DeviantArt, but if you want to check it out slowly, I guess is the term, you can check it out on Comic Fury. That's the wrong expression. I'm still trying to figure out Comic Fury a little bit, so some of the pages are formatted weird, and that's because I didn't realize I was saving absolute chungus files for my comic, so... And I had to reformat them just so they could fit in the website. Because they was just too monstrous. They were too big. So I had to chop them down, reformat them a little bit. I can't figure out tech to save my life. Despite being a digital artist and someone who is basically raised on the internet, computers baffle me. Oh, Jester, you're from the UK, or you're from England. How was the eclipse? Did you go out and see it, or has it happened yet? Because we didn't see, we didn't see any of it. It was underwhelming. It was a solar eclipse, man. How can a solar eclipse be underwhelming? I mean, even if it was just a partial eclipse. Just the science of it all. The fact that solar eclipses are a lot more rare than lunar eclipses. Also, the character's name Shorttail. That's a very Warrior Cats name. Very astute of you. This is a Warrior Cats fan comic. I don't remember why I came up with the how I came up with all their names, aside from Ivy Whisper, this guy, and Hawkfang or Hawkstar. Some of it is spoilers. You know ball? You know ball. Little backstory to this comic. The entire comic premise was made because I got pissed off at Vision of Shadows, which was, at the time, the newest series that was coming out. And I got 2 books into Vision of Shadows and went, nope, fuck this. I'm so pissed off. Why would they do this? Ugh, I hate it. I'm gonna make my own comic, and it's about other cats that saw what was happening in the clans, got pissed off, and decided to leave. Because I left the fandom after Vision of Shadows. I completely left the fandom. I just gave up. Pissed me off so much. And I know a lot of people liked Vision of Shadows, or at least they liked the characters. I could not stand half of the new characters in Vision of Shadows, and just why the leaders were being so dumb. So I get y'all are trying to rule in the, that's, his tail is too long, in the shadow of Titans, but good God, the reason there's a reason why your clanmates don't respect you, like, at all, because you don't command respect. You just kind of like, guys, respect me. You're supposed to respect me. I'm the leader. You're supposed to do this. You just expect people to respect you? Like, come on, man. And the fact that, okay, I didn't read this part of the book, I just heard about it and went, bullshit. Okay, I don't know if you've read Vision of Shadows, but, okay. Basically, rogues come, take over, and kick out the main leader of Shadow Clan because half the clan got split and were like, yeah, this sucks. We want to become fascists again. And the other half of the clan that stayed only stayed because they couldn't leave their kids behind, and then the leader left because tail between his legs. So then when he showed up at the gathering and said, oh no, rogues have taken over my clan, we have to fight back, all the other clans were like, well, you see, there's this prophecy that we don't really understand, and we think it has something to do with these two kits that we separated from each other for whatever reason, and one of them happens to be in Shadow Clan, so we're not gonna do diddly squat because we don't want to risk hurting that one cat that's maybe part of a prophecy, probably. So that pissed me off. I was like, there's no fucking way. And then I started to read the next book where the other clans were like, okay, yeah, actually, hold on. There's 3 of us and only 1 of them. If we all united, we could drive them out easy. Easy, if we all united. So then, Thunder Clan, Wind Clan, and River Clan, and what was left of Shadow Clan all unite to try and drive out the rogues. They're fighting. Wind Clan nopes out of there. And because when it was 3 against 1, they were evenly matched. But then it was 2 against 1. And then suddenly the rogues were able to drive back the other 2 whole-ass clans because Wind Clan, arguably one of the weaker clans, noped out of there. And I know there's lore reasons why he did nope out of there, and it's dumb and stupid. And I was like, alright, what the... Come on! When the rogues came and took over Shadow Clan, it was like, what, 10 rogues? Now, unless they were like Blood Clan level rogues, but I was not getting that impression from the book. And besides, the clans in the past had banded together and driven out foxes, dogs, and badgers. They did that all. They didn't like all 4 clans united or all 3 clans united. They didn't need all that. It was just like, oh yeah, we drove out a bunch of badgers from our territory. Yeah, there was like 50 of them. It was wild. A few of us died even, but that was just one clan. It's like, what? All 4 clans united to fight, what the Place of No Stars. I can't remember what that clan is called. The Place of No Stars. And then Star Clan got involved, and it was pretty evenly matched because it was all of the evil dead cats from the past that had united to fight against the cats of the living. For, you know, if that even makes sense at all. So at least, yeah, okay, all 4 clans uniting, still fighting on their own separate fronts, mind you. We're able to drive them back with the help of Star Clan. But then 3 clans united, then 2 clans couldn't drive out one group of rogues? It's freaking, excuse me? Unless those rogues are tweaked out on the sauce on steroids or something like that. That's bullshit to me. Anyway, and then this whole thing with the prophecy, I'm like, this is obviously... What? You're just guessing. It's like StarClan was doing it on purpose. You were trying to cause adversity. And then there was the whole thing later with Ashfur possessing
Bramble Star, and I'm like, alright, what the hell is... No, never mind. Don't even tell me. Let me out, please. Let me out. So then I made this, comic, The Path to Brighter Stars, and the first page is them all getting together and leaving. Because fuck this shit. Never interacted with WordClip, so I have no clue what you're talking about. Yeah, it's one of those things. You just kind of had to be there. I have a question for God. Why? It's so hot. Yeah, I'm currently wearing a sweater because it was so cold this morning because we've been having thunderstorms, which is cool, but now the thunderstorms have passed, and now it is so freaking hot, and I'm wearing a sweater, and I can't, I don't have any, I can't change real quick, because I'm streaming. I mean, I guess I could leave real fast and get a shirt, but then I have to decide what shirt to wear. It's like over 35°C, it's insane. Okay, 35 Celsius. Give me a minute. That is... I don't know the math or the formula. 35°C. I don't know, 40°C is like... 90 Fahrenheit? Is that it? What's the math? What's the formula? Because I know there's a formula, they taught it to us in like the 3rd grade, and then never taught us it again, and then we never had to test on it. Because everything was just always in Fahrenheit. Google says 95. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's pretty hot. Here, it's only, like 80 degrees because we've had, thunderclouds. Oh! Chat, you wanna hear some bullshit? Apparently, last night, we had a meteor during a thunderstorm, and I slept through it. I slept through a meteor landing in my area, and apparently, according to my parents, who were awake at the time, it was so bright and so loud, my mom thought someone was, like, a truck drove by and that the dryer was running. That's how flipping loud this thing was, and I slept through it. My sloth lazy ass slept through a freaking meteor. How the hell do I manage this? Every single effing time there's a major celestial event, I accidentally sleep through it. Or any other type thing. I have slept through eclipses, which, I mean, kind of easy to miss. I have slept through Aurora Borealis, which, granted, kind of hard to see in my area. They're not even native to the area. I have slept through earthquakes. I've slept through tornado warnings, even though we don't really have tornadoes, but we did have a warning that one time that I remember. I've slept through earthquakes. Barely a category 2, but, you know, I've slept through earthquakes, and now I slept through a meteor. How did I manage that? But I woke up precisely at 5:30, like 6:30 in the morning because the cat wanted food. Meteor shower. I sleep. Cat want food. Real shit. I'm so mad. That would have been so cool to see. I would have been blind, but that would have been so cool to see. just to say that I saw it. But apparently my sister was also awake at the time, and she didn't even know what happened either. She didn't hear anything. It was like, was it only vibrating at a frequency that only certain people could hear? Is that what was going on? Well, wherever it landed, I hope, that it didn't land on anybody's house or anything like that. Because that also has happened before. I hope nobody got hurt. But anyway, I'm kind of mad that I slept through a meteor. We've also had meteor showers in the past, but I was like, all right, yeah, I'll stay awake. And then for the second that just, I'm cursed. I'm cursed. Anytime there's a celestial event, I either sleep through it, and then when it actually is in my area, when I actually am awake, it's not in my area. Like that one year when we had a solar eclipse over the United States, it was on the other coast. It was going through New York and shit. I wouldn't be able to see anything on my side. I'm on the West Coast. I had to watch it. I had to watch NASA's live stream of the solar eclipse just to get any information, which was cool. Don't get me wrong, I love watching NASA live streams. And then there was oh my god, another time there was a solar eclipse in my area. In my area, solar eclipse. It was, I don't think it was a total eclipse, it was a partial eclipse. But still, a solar eclipse. It was overcast. It was overcast. It was cloudy. Solar eclipse happened. Didn't notice it at all, because it was already dark. I'm so mad. For once, I would love a total eclipse in my area, and it's not overcast, and it's not rainy, and I don't accidentally sleep through it. I swear, I've been cursed by God. I've been cursed by someone. Someone has it out for me, and I've been apologizing. I've been looking into, like, old, ancient spirits of the area. I can't find anything, and I can't even remember the last time I did something. It's like, alright, what did I do? How do I repent? What do you want? I don't know. Yom Kippur is coming up, next month, so maybe I'll just say, hey, God, whatever it is, I'm sorry. Now, can I please see a meteor shower? But don't put it on my house, please. And I know anytime you, like, ask anything from a deity, you need to be specific, because then they're like, oh yeah, sure, here you go. Like, it's like that one Tom and Jerry meme where he's like, God answered your prayers. Boom, gets pied in the face. It's like, you asked God for money. A relative died and you get inheritance money. It's like, oh no! I asked to see a total solar eclipse in my area. It's the apocalypse. It's like, ah! Okay, that's Okay, that's better. One of these days, it's on my bucket list. I can't die before I do this. I want to see the Northern Lights at the Arctic Circle. Or at least near the Arctic Circle. But here's the thing, though. I don't know if I want to see where I want to see the solar eclipse. If I only had... Not the solar eclipse, excuse me. The Aurora Borealis. The Northern Lights. I don't know if I want... Like, if I only had one opportunity to see them, where should I watch them? Alaska? Iceland? Greenland? Or Norway? Because I hear Iceland is the spot. But it looks like the only opportunity I'm going to have feasibly would be Alaska. Which, Alaska is still cool. It's just in order to get to a spot where you could watch the Northern Lights, you need to go more inland, and a lot of the cruise lines don't allow any time to, like, see it. Just localize it entirely within your kitchen? What are you talking about, man? Obviously, there's a bit of a lag. Okay, I'm going to draw a lion stripe. Because he's not the hardest cat to draw, but he's... Do you not get the reference? No, I don't. Sorry. I get obscure references, but not mainstream references. I had to look up the origin of the 500 cigarettes, because I didn't know what that was from. Because I was watching Pezzy play Feed the Pit, and he made a 500 cigarettes joke, and everyone in the comments was like, oh, 500 cigarettes. I'm like, what is that even from? I didn't get it. I had to go look it up on Know Your Meme. I should also, clarify that I didn't grow up with television. So, any of the SpongeBob references I only get because of the memes. I didn't actually watch SpongeBob or, Zack and Cody or any of the other Disney channels because we just didn't have television. We had VHS tapes and the library. I don't think I've ever even been to a Blockbuster. Maybe once. So yeah. I might be Gen Z, but the way I was raised by people from the 80s, so... Just surprised that there's a human on the internet who doesn't know the entire steamed ham script by heart. I have no idea what you're talking about. Is that like an infomercial? God, I feel so old. Am I old, guys? I'm not even 30. I'm still baby! Even though I listen to 40s music and remember Google Plus. I remember Hastings, okay? That's how old I am. I remember Hastings. I know about Flex Tape, but that's only because I watched a JonTron video. But then Flex Tape is relatively new? This is a scene from The Simpsons. I didn't watch The Simpsons, that's why. I've never seen The Simpsons. Became a huge meme on the internet for like 5 months. Never heard of it. I've seen some Simpsons memes, but I've never watched it. Clips here and there. But, you know, like I said, didn't grow up with television. And now that I'm an adult, I just, you know, again, don't watch most modern television. Unless it is Star Wars, Transformers, or like Tron, which I haven't seen the latest Tron movie. I haven't seen Ares. I probably will never watch Tron Ares because Disney, you pissed me off. Why did you cancel Tron Uprising? That was honestly the best show you've ever made, and then you killed it. I have feelings. Also never seen, but everyone knows Steve. Well, apparently not everyone. So I have no idea what you're talking about. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 5. There we go. Did you write the book of love? And do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? Can you teach me how to dance real slow? I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both took off your shoes. Man, I did those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage broken buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, and I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. When we were singing bye bye Miss American Pie, drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. You know, I've also never seen the movie American Pie. I just know the song. When it comes to me and the references that I know, it's one of those things where, no, I've never seen Interview with a Vampire or What We Do in the Shadows. But I've read Dracula. I've read the original book, and that was pretty good. Even though Interview with a Vampire is also a book. Also never read it. But I've read Dracula. And the original movie was really good. Because have you seen the new Sleepy Hollow movie? No, but I've read the book. Actually, I haven't. I actually haven't read the original Legend of Sleepy Hollow. But I have seen the original, Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad. That actually came out in the 1940s. I tell you, I'm younger than 30. I'm not a boomer. I was just raised by boomers. Some of my references, I swear, are straight out of a time machine. You sound like a little boomer right now. All these newfangled things, and I picked up a book. We also have the Frankenstein book. I have a lot of classic literature in my library. I have The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Narnia. What else do I have? Oh, I have Call of the Wild. That was a really good story. Not my favorite. I think, but I do have to give Call of the Wild credit, because I think Call of the Wild loosely inspired White Fang, which is probably the same author. Not my favorite of the old classic literature. Same with To Build a Fire. To Build a Fire was fine. It was a short story, so I'm not surprised if no one knows about it. I only know about it because we read it in school. But it is a very interesting story that I highly recommend to people, because it is a story specifically about hubris, but not in the Greek sense, if you know what I mean. No one under 40 knows what I'm talking about right now, unless you were in my same English class, and then you're like, To Build a... Oh yeah, that book. That was boring. Like, well, yeah, but that's because it was about survival, and survival is mostly boring. Until it's not. It's not old classic literature and not understanding memes on this channel, okay. I'm also a huge Star Wars fan, so if it's... No, I won't say that, because I haven't seen all of Star Wars. A lot of people are like, oh, you're a Star Wars fan, huh? What's your favorite video game? I'm like, I don't play video games. Says, ooh, what was your favorite comic line? It's like, I also don't read the comics. I'm sorry. Even though I'm a comic writer, I don't read Star Wars comics as much anymore. And that's only because my local library didn't have any, and all the websites at the time that had the comics were either subscription based or so chock full of ads that it was unbearable. It was basically impossible to read. Proportionally, he's a lot bigger than that. But in all seriousness, if you're like into vampires and spooky scaries and goth stuff, I highly recommend reading the original Dracula, especially the first chapters with Jonathan Harker's diary. That one is very well written and is very reminiscent of modern creepypastas, especially original Edgar Allan Poe. like Edgar Allan Poe, whether it's a direct reference or not, Edgar Allan Poe is kind of the father of creepypasta. You read his story, I don't remember what it was called, but it was the one about being buried alive. That one reads exactly like a modern creepypasta. It was really weird listening to an audiobook of it, because I mostly do audiobooks. This sounds like a creepypasta that I read last Tuesday. This is an original Poe? It's fascinating. I highly recommend it. I think watching the movies qualifies you into Star Wars. Yeah, because I remember when my first Star Wars movie was The Phantom Menace. Actually, hold on. Was it? Because I know we had the original 4, 5, and 6, the special editions. But I think I watched them kind of like all together. Like, Star Wars in general was my favorite franchise as a child. And I loved the original 3. I loved the prequels. I don't know why people hate the prequels so much. Okay, I understand why people hate the prequels. But at the same time, it's like, I, as a child, was basically being harassed on the internet by grown-ass adults for liking the prequels and defending the prequels online. So I have trauma when it comes to OGers and G-whiners. Holy shit! Going back to Transformers, G-whiners, and those are the people that say that G1 was the best Transformers ever. Those people piss me off so much because they just ruined any experience. Anytime you mention liking any Transformers, anything that isn't G1, 50 G-whiners all came out of the woodwork going, oh, but the original G1 is better. It's not like the original, because it's not like the original, it's bad. It's bad. You don't see G-whiners on the internet anymore, probably because they all died, because of how old they are. Grown-ass adults, mind you. Grown-ass adults harassing children on the internet for liking a cartoon. I know, oh, welcome to the internet, that's what happens all the time. I don't fucking care. Grown-ass adults. Sorry. I've been thinking about reading Frankenstein and Dracula just to get in touch with the classics, but you prefer Lovecraft. Lovecraft is pretty cool. I do like the Lovecraftian genre, because he definitely inspired a genre, but it does piss me off that every Lovecraftian inspired story is always Shadow of Innsmouth. It's all Shadow of Innsmouth. And I'm like, okay, I get Shadow of Innsmouth was cool, but Cats of Ulthar is my favorite Lovecraft anything. Say what you will about Lovecraft, he really liked his cat. He really liked cats. What was his cat's name, Rune? What was his cat's name? He really liked his cat. In fact, when his cat died, he was so distraught, he wrote a story called Cats of Ulthar. Oh, not this bunch. Hey, don't get me wrong, I like Lovecraft too. I like Lovecraft. Whenever I mention Lovecraft to my friend, she goes, oh yeah, his cat had a great name as well. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't. I shouldn't make fun of an autistic man. But you can separate the art from the artist, and as a Lovecraft fan and as a Poe fan, we have to be able to point out and say, yes, they also were this. But that doesn't mean we still can't enjoy. We can enjoy their creations while still calling out bad behavior. Like bigotry and racism and a bunch of other things. Especially with Poe. Oh my god. I was just, huh? Excuse me? But then he's not the most problematic writer out there. Not by a long shot, don't get it twisted. As a former Stephen King fan, I can attest. Okay, she's a little too... Brindlefar's a little... She's too chibi. Here, I need to lengthen her limbs. She is a lanky Wing Clan cat. So she's got legs for days. It's funny reading Lovecraft because half the time the horror is incomprehensible and cosmic beings sometimes exploit people. I know. That's why I laugh when I read Lovecraft. I don't think Lovecraft is scary at all. I just laugh. Because it was just, oh, the incomprehensible horror. And I'm like, no. Give me the deets. Gib deets. Give me. When you say, oh, it's an incomprehensible horror, it's like, okay, well, I don't get it. Because it's incomprehensible, so I'm bored now. Scare me! Which is why earlier I talked about one of my favorite horror movies now is, John Carpenter's The Thing. I freaking love that movie. It's not my favorite horror film. My favorite horror film still to this day is Silence of the Lambs. But The Thing is up there. I only watched it, I watched it for the first time, last year, I think? It was very well done. Beautiful. Oh, speaking of Lovecraft, going back to Lovecraft, I also really liked the movie Color Out of Space. I know a lot of people didn't like it or even know about it because, what's his name? Nicolas Cage was in it, but Nicolas Cage played his part very well. And the horror aspect of the monster and the color was very beautiful in the movie. It's wonderful. See, now, having incomprehensible horror that cannot be described in books is terrible. In movies, it is amazing because then you don't show the monster. You don't see the monster. In fact, in Color Out of Space, you can't see the monster because the monster is the color. And you just see the effects of the monster or the color on this family. And it's just, yes! Yes! I love this! And then the alpaca scene was, ugh. But it was very well done. Very well done. It made me gag. But that's how you know you did body horror correctly. That's what I was talking about earlier when The Thing first hit theaters, people were running out of there screaming when it was the kennel scene. I kind of hope they make more Lovecraft movies because they have potential, especially if they eventually do Dunwich horror. Sounds good. Oh, you haven't seen it! Oh, you haven't seen it! It's just called Color Out of Space. And it's starring Nicolas Cage. And, you know, if you've read the original Color Out of Space, it shows the land surveyor and he just hears the story of what happened to the family in, like, after the fact. Because that kind of happens a lot with Lovecraftian horror. The horror happens, like, the protagonist comes around after the fact and hears it secondhand from a crazy person, or it happens conveniently when the protagonist was away. But with Color Out of Space, the movie, the land surveyor is there, and it's happening to the family in real time. We follow the family that it was happening to, and the land surveyor who is trying to crack the mystery of what's going on. It was like, ooh, I like that. So if you're queasy to body horror, I do give some warning. There's if you've read the book, you know what's going to happen, but it still does not prepare you for when it happens. Body horror isn't body horror unless it makes you want to claw your skin off. Yeah, it definitely made me queasy, but I was having too much fun. You know, what was Brindle proposed in the first page? Aha. Oh my god. So this was the original. This is the original page 1 that I drew and streamed on this channel 5 years ago. Man alive. And this is the new one that we're currently working on. Me am currently working on. Oh, that's why I didn't draw it, because there's a bush right there. Oops. Now it... Always check. Double check all your layers. Is her tail even gonna be in the shot? Yeah, we can put it in the shot. Yeah, like that. There we go. I'm also a huge Aliens fan. In fact, Aliens, the director's cut, is my favorite movie of all time, with Dread being a close second. Very close second. Dread, in an odd sort of way, Dread is my comfort film. Despite it being about a post-apocalyptic irradiated wasteland with a city overrun by drug lords and corrupt cops, but Dredd is oddly comforting because he's not a corrupt cop. He is justice incarnate. He is the law. So I guess that's why he's comforting, in a way. I got a strong sense of justice autism. I didn't get the math autism or anything like that. I got strong sense of justice and sensory issues. Oh, you do have autism. Oh, well, not diagnosed. I know I have ADHD diagnosed, but I haven't been diagnosed with autism. Mostly because when I was a kid, autism was still kind of like magic back then. They didn't understand what it was. So I haven't been diagnosed, and as an adult still haven't been diagnosed because can't afford a doctor. But it flagged me when you said Star Wars, Transformers, and Tron. I'm also a Pokemon fan. Okay, I'm not as big of a Pokemon fan. I just got really into Pokemon Go when it got super popular, and I remember watching Mewtwo Strikes Back when it came out, and that was so cool. I thought Mewtwo was the coolest thing when I was a kid. I still think Mewtwo is cool, but now my favorite Pokemon are Goodra, Lucario, Giratina, and Miss Magius. And of course, my favorite evolution is Sylveon. I know most people would expect it to be like Leafeon or Umbreon, given my tree obsession and you know, my emo goth aesthetic. But actually, Sylveon is one of my favorite evolutions. It's a good selection. Thank you. There's other Pokemon that I also really like, but when it comes to favorites, Goodra's my favorite, but Miss Magius is my Pokesona that I actually have designed. It's on my toy house right now. Excuse the voice crack. What the hell? I swear, I'm a woman who's almost in my 30s. Why are these voice cracks still happening? I swear, guys, I'm not a teenager! Looking at me, you'd never confuse me for a man. Or a teenager. In fact, when I was a kid, like, barely 10 years old, I had adults telling me that I looked so mature for my age. Which as a kid, I thought, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, adults don't look like children, so why are you saying I look like an adult? But then as an adult, and hearing adults say, you're so mature for your age, I'm like, oh, red flag! Red flag! Everybody run! Oh my god, it's happening! Someone call the cops! But I don't think the adults that did say you're mature for your age actually meant anything unkosher towards me, but I think they were just picking up on the fact that I was severely traumatized. And had autism. Or was neurodivergent in a way. So I was like, okay, this isn't a normal child. Must be an adult. This must be maturity. Like, no, just generational trauma. And other mental disorders. Not the trauma dump on Maine, but I just think it's funny. See, you can tell the trauma is real if I just say it like it's a casual joke, and then I hear the crickets in the background and be like, oh, it's actually not a joke to some people. Some people actually... When you say trauma, they're like, oh my god, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I just cope with humor now. And have a caffeine addiction. Just to feel something. And I watch horror films and think they're fun. No, I mean, I'm not talking about chat, you guys in chat. I'm talking about, like, in real life, when I talk to people and I just mention... I'll just casually mention certain behaviors and trauma responses that I have. And they're like, okay. It's just, okay, grow up. grown-ass adults, like, you're an adult, grow up, you know bad things happen in the world. Why are you so shocked that a child has experienced these things? Yeah. Which is funny because I haven't experienced, like, I haven't experienced a lot of the trauma I have firsthand, but I have, now this is a bit of trauma dumping, I have experienced secondhand trauma, which is finally now being studied a bit more. When I was growing up, they didn't really they weren't really looking into it. So when we would host foster kids, and then I would have the same not the same trauma responses, but would have the same triggers as a lot of the other kids. It was just, I just kept quiet because I wasn't the foster kid. I wasn't the one that saw my parents get arrested and knew what it was like to have, you know, parents addicted to drugs. Why am I having these same triggers as these other kids in these situations? I've never been in a domestic abuse situation, so why am I the one freaking out whenever people are yelling now? It's like, well, it's because I grew up around people that did experience that, and they were still reeling from that reality. So whenever they would start yelling, it was like, okay, when their voices were raised, something was about to be broken. And I had to make sure my pets and my things were secure. When I casually say that one of my friends killed themselves, the reaction from people is larger than the one I had when it happened. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, when it's your reality, it's really hard to gauge, like, what is normal. It's like, I've heard people talk about how they're afraid to go to sleep because one of their friends, had killed themselves, and they had left that person a text that was saying, like, hey, goodbye, I'm ending it all. And that person just happened to be asleep when the text came in, so they didn't see it when they got it. So now they're afraid to go to sleep because of that. They don't want that to happen again. I'm like, oh my god. You said that so casually. Do you need a hug? I know, it sounds horrible, but then when they just say it so casually, it's just, oh my god. The worst thing we can become is apathetic. So I think it's great that people still respond strongly, but just don't freak out. You know, when people are telling you something about themselves, don't freak out, because that's the reason why people don't reach out, is because they're like, okay, I don't want to deal with the drama of other people's reactions to something terrible that happened to me. So I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want them to worry. I don't want to deal with the, oh my god, ah. I sound like Mickey Mouse when I say that, you know. So they don't reach out, and that's why people feel so alone and isolated. It's because people don't know how to react when people tell them these things. So I get it. That I get it, and I also feel like I don't know how to respond. So my first response is, oh man, that's rough, buddy. You know, I don't know how to respond to that. Do you want an ear, or do you want a therapist? Because I am neither. I don't. What do you want from me, man? I'm drawing cats for a living. My response to, like, when people are like, hey, I'm having a really tough time in school, and, I found out all my friends were bullies, and I don't have anyone to talk to. Do you have any advice for me? And I'm like, have have you tried eating your feelings? Because that's what I do. Have you tried isolating yourself in your room and listening to loud music? Because that's what I do. It's not a healthy coping mechanism, but I haven't killed myself yet, so it's great. You know, it obviously works. I would get demonetized because of this live stream. Well, no, actually, I would get demonetized because of several other live streams where I said really big words that YouTube doesn't like. Because I am of the firm belief that I follow the advice of Ernest Hemingway. Write hard and clear about what hurts. But I don't think we should sugarcoat our experiences, like our bad experiences. Or like the bad things that do happen to people. But at the same time, I don't like we shouldn't normalize bad things happening to people. We shouldn't shy away from it, but we shouldn't normalize it, because the second we normalize it, then we lose our empathy towards the people that are experiencing these things, and towards ourselves. We don't want to lose empathy for not empathy for ourselves. What's that called? Because the second we normalize like terrible shit happening, we stop caring about when terrible shit happens, and then the terrible shit will continue to happen because no one is calling out that bad behavior, saying, hey, this is not okay. Just because it happens doesn't mean we should be okay with it happening. I don't know what to do for this. You know what? I'm just going to put his tail here. I mean, that's why I have a whole series that dives into trauma responses, and the show is called Gatesville, and I want that show to make people uncomfortable. Not like in a I'm going to re-traumatize people, but I want the show to force people to address the issues. You can't just look away and say and pretend it doesn't happen, because it does happen. And it's kind of our duty to call it out and do something about it. Even if it's just little things like treating these people like normal people. The least you can do is give their humanity back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I came to the stream for someone yapping about warrior cats. I wasn't expecting him to nuance and educate. Well, yeah. Welcome to the channel. That's what we do here. I am so freaking sweaty. Oh my god, why is this so hot? I gotta close this. I am actually I'm going to die. Hang on, I'll be right back. I need to go change out of the sweater. Holy shit. Okay, I'm back. Hope you enjoyed my little doll just sitting here. Just a normal little doll. Nothing weird. Alright, I'm back. I'll put on a tank top. Because, holy crap. It was way too hot. Not a healthy coping mechanism, but it works. Eh, barely. No, it's caused a myriad of other problems. That's the point of my live streams. You get a little peek into my psyche. And you see what it's like to have this is catharsis for people who have ADHD, and this is also education for people who don't have ADHD. Because then you get to see what it's like.
I didn't know if you wanted extra, so...
Oh, yes, please.
Okay.
Let's put this on real quick. And my sister's giving me food. I don't have any extra toggles for food or talking to other people yet, so... Thank you.
Yep.
Because, holy crap, yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock here. I have not eaten lunch yet.
Yeah, I saw you were streaming, and I was like, she probably hasn't eaten.
And I haven't.
You want this close?
Yes, please.
You like your room closed?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I got, what are these? Spinach raviolis. Old people take. I actually really liked spinach. I've always liked spinach as a kid. And that's because I grew up watching Popeye the Sailor Man. And he was really into spinach, so I was like, you know what? If Popeye thinks it's good, so that means it must be. So I like spinach too. And then I just genuinely liked spinach recipes. I have a theory that ADHD is a necessary condition for being a good streamer. What else to say? Stay entertaining while talking to themselves for ages. I'm either Sir Yaps a lot, non-stop yapping, or I completely lock in and stop talking for an hour. And then I feel bad that I'm not talking, but hey, at least I locked in and I'm getting the art done. If I wasn't yapping, like, I'm in the middle of my Marble Hornets binge. If you haven't heard or seen Marble Hornets, it's a really hard, and it's an internet found footage show, and I don't know how to explain it or pitch it because it's a slow burn series, but I highly recommend it. If you're into found footage horror, Marble Hornets is one of the first. Like, Blair Witch was the first found footage movie. Wait, no, Marble Hornets wasn't the first found footage series on the internet, because technically every internet series was kind of like found footage, but Marble Hornets was the first to involve Slender Man, or the Operator. And I'm in the middle of my rewatch. I'm halfway through, not halfway, I'm partway through season 2. And I absolutely love that series. Why did I mention that? Oh yeah, because instead of streaming, I kind of wanted to just have that playing in the background while I just locked in and finished the page. Because I know for a fact, we've been streaming for 2 hours. If I wasn't talking or streaming, I would have finished the page by now. But now I'm also eating, so... Okay, all I need to do is finish Ivy Whisper and Brindlefur. And then we can get on with the coloring. Normally when I'm not feeling up to it for streaming nowadays, I have accepted the fact that no mic, non-verbal streams are fine. But I kind of want to still keep them entertaining, so I just play music in the background. Yeah, it is copywritten music, but it's my music. So, you know, it's still at least me, in a way. It's not just the same this background music for on loop for an hour. I do, however, think some sort of neurodivergency is required to be a speedrunner. Now, I'm not a speedrunner, but, oh my god, that is awful. One streamer I follow, Pezzy, he is. And he is definitely some sort of neurodivergent. You've tried speed, it's so boring. It's hard. You have to learn the strat. It's the same thing repetitive. So, like, a normal person would not subject themselves to that. So that's what I was saying. You need some sort of neurodivergency. Not mine, because repetitive action actually makes me antsy. That's what makes me think I probably have ADHD rather than autism, or maybe both. Because my ADHD, I actually get a bit of a meltdown when I have to do too much repetitive tasks. Which is probably why animation is really hard for me, because not only do you have to keep the thing consistent, you also, that's a lot of drawing the same damn thing over and over again, so just copy paste it. Just gotta copy paste the stupid thing. Which just proves that I am in trouble, because I have several projects that are going to be animated, and I'm just, okay, god. By the time that happens, I'm gonna need to have a studio to just hire other people to do it. I'll do the scripting, the world building, the character design, and the storyboards. I'll do all of that, but someone else, for fuck's sake, someone else can do the animation, someone else can rig the backgrounds, especially when we're in the city. Because I can't draw cities to save my life. I can draw trees! I can draw trees and forests, but not a city background. Not anything like that. Who can handle that? But trying to mental torture. I don't know. People into BDSM, I guess. Masochists, maybe. People who play Elden Ring. And Five Nights at Freddy's. Another clue that I am neurodivergent. I also like Five Nights at Freddy's. Man, I remember when Five Nights at Freddy's first came out. What a time to be alive. I still have the nightmares. Okay, we are slowing down a bit. I can feel myself slowing down a bit. I mean, I do have black coffee with me, and like for the whole beginning of stream, I was drinking a mocha. But even with like streaming and talking to a bunch of people, I still get bored, you know? Just being with myself. Even if chat's going a mile a minute, it's never gone a mile a minute, but even if there's like 5 people in chat and we're all talking, I can still get not bored. I think it's more overstimulated. I get overstimulated because I'm also an introvert. So my social battery runs out. It definitely runs out a lot slower than if, you know, I was out and about in the real world. But I still definitely get overstimulated. I keep saying overstimulated. The real thing is I'm understimulated, and that causes more of a meltdown for me than being overstimulated. Which kind of clues into me that I have more of the ADHD than I have more of the what am I trying to say? What the hell? I definitely have some form of ADHD, and that's the ADHD, but they add the there to show that the autism is also involved. I have more of the DHD than the but the is still involved because I have meltdowns where I go completely nonverbal and I'm too upset to even talk. And I just want to lay down and die. Okay, last ravioli. Sorry for the slurping, that one was trying to run away. Spinach with ricotta, topped with Parmesan. What's better than this? To really bring home my autism, ravioli is basically macaroni and cheese as well. So, yep. That's also what I had for dinner last night, macaroni and cheese. I eat more than macaroni and cheese, I swear. It just happens to be the 2 times. Recently. that I've had macaroni and cheese. I eat other things, okay? I like peanut butter. Where did I put this? I'm gonna put it over here. I'll put my bowl away when I'm finished streaming, which won't be for long. So let's bring it home, boys. We got one last character to draw. Oh, also, not Owl House. Undertale. Even though Owl House is also really fun. Undertale took over my brain when that first came out. Papyrus is my favorite. Papyrus and Mettaton, they're my favorite. I know. Oh my god, that's such a basic answer. Yeah? Okay. I'm not normal about them. I think it took over everyone's brain. Yeah, I was very late to the party. But yeah, when it did, when that Undertale hyperfixation hits, man, oof. I remember watching a bunch of comic dubs. Like, that used to be my entertainment. Now I can't stand watching most comic dubs because they're just so cringe. Now, I know cringe culture is dead because we killed it. But some of them just, ugh, I'll just let me read the comic, okay? Please. But I do remember back in the day. You've summoned some truly repressed memories. I remember Underfell. God, I miss those AUs. Especially after. Underfell used to be something completely different, but then when the fandom kind of took over and went, yeah, let's not ship Sans with Frisk anymore. And then they made Sans and Underfell, Sans, and Papyrus were kind of just goofball goobers. And I greatly appreciated that. Especially when they decided to give him, the Sans and Papyrus, Brooklyn accents. The Brooklyn accent Sans was fun. And all the different Sanses, oh god, yeah. Underfell and Blueberry Sans from Underswap. My beloveds. I miss them so much. I recently, because I was feeling really nostalgic, rewatched the Underfell, Doomfanger. Oh god, the Doomfanger video where a cat gets in Underfell Sans and Papyrus's house. Why does it make that sound? I don't know. Why do you sound like you swallowed a cheese grater? Because I had tonsillitis as a child. You know that. You were there. Whatever. Look, it's 3 in the fucking morning, boss. Do you want me to get rid of it or not? Ugh. Nostalgia. Funny thing about that video, the Doomfinger one, that was the inspiration for one of basically my first internet names. My my first real internet name. No, it was my second. It was after my rebrand. Because my first internet name was Decepticat. Because I was so into Transformers and was in denial that my Sona was a cat. So I was Decepticat for the longest time, but then when I actually wanted to take the internet a little bit serious and, like, get community and whatnot, that's when I was Doomfang for the longest time. That was my first gamer tag. I feel so embarrassed sharing that, but at the same time, hey, it's part of my history. It's intolerably edgy. Oh my god, wait till you see all my, my creepypasta obsession back in the day. Holy shit, I remember the Slender Mansion. I remember Tiki Toby. I wasn't big into, like, Jeff the Killer. I thought Jeff the Killer was pretty basic. I say, as I was obsessed with Slender Man. Here's how sheltered and dumb I was when I first started getting into the internet. I thought Slender Man was real. For the longest freaking time, I thought Slender Man was real. I was a child. Excuse me for believing that. I was so convinced. But then I was like, no, it's just... Then I learned the history of Slender Man. I was like, no, it's just based on a Photoshop competition on the Something Awful forums. And then, you know, what was his name? Victor Surge made them. I was like, oh. So he's a meme. Okay. And then I became obsessed. And I still haven't gotten over that obsession to this day. Sometimes I feel the call of the creepypasta. Like, I feel it calling me again. Now, I listen to creepypastas all the time, but, like, the old creepypastas. Though, I feel them calling to me sometimes, and I'm sitting here like, don't, they're like the Green Goblin mask in the corner. It's like, don't, no, please don't. Leave me alone! Ah! Well, that's from Akira, which I still also haven't seen. Here's how intolerably edgy I was. My favorite anime when I was a kid was Bleach. So much fan art. So much fan fiction. I didn't write any, but I did read a lot. Oh my god. That's right. Yeah. Bleach wasn't my first anime, though. My first anime that I really got into and watched entirety and really, really liked was Wolf's Rain. Talk about edgy. Holy shit. If you survived Wolf's Rain, you deserve a. Like, if you remember Wolf's Rain and you survived, you deserve some sort of veteran's discount. Because that was, like, early DeviantArt, dog. You know the DeviantArt days. Wolf's Rain was the DeviantArt days. Like, most DeviantArt dogs that people talk about, most of those screenshots were taken from Wolf's Rain. That show was also was my first instance with what the fuck endings. So I was like, what? That's it? That's how it ends? Are you kidding me? And then years later, I finally watched Madoka Magica, and I was like, and that then was one of the darker animes I watched. I was like, oh my god, I'm crying like a baby watching Madoka Magica. But I loved it. I loved Madoka Magica. I highly suggest it. It's one of my favorite animes ever. As someone who doesn't like anime, especially like because of all the fan service and grossness, Madoka Magica was one of my favorite. And of course, you know, everyone's favorite anime, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I always feel like I'm about to get crucified when I say that I'm not an anime fan. Because then they'll be like, oh, what do you mean you haven't seen this anime? I'm like, I just don't like anime. And yeah, I know not all anime has that gross underage girl fan service that is actually quite predatory. I know not every anime has that. But I just don't want to waste my time. I haven't even finished Cowboy Bebop. That's how much I am not interested in anime. I didn't finish Cowboy Bebop. Now, Cowboy Bebop was very fun when I was watching it. Very interesting. I did like it, but I just haven't finished it. Because, you know, I was binging it, and then I stopped binging it, and then I never got back into it. But that's just how it is. We've all been 13, nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah. Actually, the first anime anything I've ever watched was, do people count Ghibli movies as anime? Because I kind of don't. Because then, if you do, my first anime anything was Princess Mononoke. But if we're just counting TV shows and, like, mainstream anime, then Black Lagoon was my first. We always remember our first. Yeah, if you count Ghibli movies as anime, then Princess Mononoke was the first Japanese anything. Wait, did I watch... Did I watch Princess Mononoke before Pokemon? Before Mewtwo Strikes Back? It's all very blurry. But I do remember watching them, you know, not in theaters, because we didn't go to the theaters, really. They actually. What do you mean, you know, like, anime? Have you ever... Isn't even that bad. Only one upskirt shot an episode. See, See, that specifically is what gets, it just makes me very uncomfortable, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And I know I was just saying, like, oh, we need to address things that make us uncomfortable. That doesn't mean I should force myself to engage with the media. No, we call it out, say this is garbage, and then demand better. Like, I refuse to watch Kill la Kill because of it. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not watching Kill la Kill. And that one with the dragon babysitter. Ugh. I refuse to watch that because of what they did to that toddler. It's like, no. I don't care if she's a 100-year-old dragon. She's a baby. Why is that grown-ass woman getting all gross over a... Ugh. No, thank you. No, I don't consider Ghibli movies anime, mostly because I consider Ghibli its own genre. And I say Ghibli instead of Ghibli, because I heard that Ghibli is how they pronounce it in Japan, so just to clarify. And I love Ghibli movies. I love, Princess Mononoke, that's my favorite one. I love Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. I haven't seen a lot of them. I really want to see Howl's Moving Castle, because at first I wasn't interested in it because all I heard was people saying, oh yeah, I love Howl's Moving Castle because Howl is so hot. I was like, well, anything else about it? Howl is so hot and he's so fun, and I just had a crush on Howl. I was like, okay, anything else? No? Okay, well, boring. And then I watched a bit of it talking about the themes of Howl's Moving Castle, and I'm like, what? You mean it's an anti-war movie? Why did nobody tell me Howl's Moving Castle was an anti-war movie? I didn't see any of that. Give me. I want to watch. I want to watch a movie where hate and anger turns people into monsters. Please. I also like his more relaxed Ghibli movies. Like Kiki's Delivery Service was really fun. Definitely made me cry because I've gone through what Kiki has gone through. I loved My Neighbor Totoro. I thought that movie was so cute. Great. Do I have to do it to all of them now? Yes. Anyway. You know, Ghibli isn't anime. Ghibli is art. I'll give some animes a chance. Like, I'll eventually get into Frieren. Eventually, when I, like, have the ability to give a damn. I'll eventually maybe watch, Hunter x Hunter. Because everyone says that one's good. Eventually, I'll watch Death Note. But not anytime soon. I just don't wanna. I tried to watch Code Geass. It was really cool. I just, it's not driving me insane not knowing what happens next. Because I watched a good bit of it, and was binging it for a long time. But then, you know, I stopped binging to do something else. And when I'm binging and I miss a day, I can't get back into a show. Unless it's something that has absolutely grabbed my attention. Like Tron Uprising. Now, Tron Uprising, again, not an anime, but oh my god, that show is that's one of my favorite shows ever. I love Tron Uprising. I love Tron. I remember I watched the original Tron before Legacy came out. I didn't watch it in theaters, guys, okay? I'm not that old. I just somehow found out about it through that I heard about a movie. Like, I watched the behind the scenes for Tron. I was like, wow, this looks really interesting. I want to watch the movie. And then I watched the movie, Tron, and was like, I am obsessed with this. I don't know who Bruce Boxleitner is, but I got a crush on Tron now. I guess I have to deal with that. And then, Legacy came out that same year, and I was like, ha! I liked Tron before it was cool! Yes, I was one of those people. And then Uprising, well, it's because we didn't have television, that's how. We didn't have television, so I didn't know about Tron Uprising when it came out. I didn't know about Tron Uprising when it was airing. There is good anime, it's just so saturated with dog shit that it's hard to view it positively. I know. There is good anime out there. There are good stories everywhere that I eventually do, you know, they're on my watch list eventually when I have the time to get around to it. But for the most part, I just, you know, it's not ruining my life to not know how Code Geass ends. Same with, Hellsing. I started watching Hellsing, but then I heard there were two Hellsings, like Hellsing and then Hellsing Ultimate or something like that. I was like, alright, well, which one do I watch? So I tried to watch... I started watching Hellsing, and I said, oh no, actually, you're supposed to watch Hellsing Ultimate and then watch original Hellsing. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch Hellsing Ultimate. And then it was the same first episode, but slightly different. And I was like, okay, so why are there tits now? And I was so confused. But then the same thing happened with Full Metal Alchemist, because I watched Full Metal Alchemist, and then after I finished that show, I was like, okay, that was interesting. That ending is kind of messed up. But okay, and then, wait, who are these characters that everyone else is talking about with Full Metal? What are y'all talking about? Bro, there's another show? Why didn't y'all tell me? So then I watched Brotherhood, and it's like, oh, okay. Okay, yeah, this follows the manga. But I do suggest watching original Full Metal Alchemist, because then we get the other stories that help supplement Brotherhood. So I do suggest it. As traumatic as an experience that was, I highly recommend it. Okay, we are going to do eye colors. We're going to do character eyes, and then probably going to end stream, because we're getting close on 3 hours. And I can feel my throat starting to hurt. Y'all can't see it because I'm not using the webcam, but I had my tongue sticking out that entire time. Thanks for the... I am not beating the allegations. If it helps, my favorite Warner sibling was Wacko. That also helps not beat the allegations. If you know, you know. Warner sibling as an Animaniacs. Original Animaniacs. I know Hulu did a remake. What are the allegations? Oh, the autism allegations. Oh, the Warner sibling. Yeah, Animaniacs. It's time for Animaniacs. And we're zany to the max. Again, since we didn't have television, I didn't watch the show as it was airing, but mostly because it was before my time. But I have seen several episodes, and my favorite instance with Animaniacs, like my oldest memory watching Animaniacs was the movie Wacko's Wish. And then also their other specials and songs. I remember their songs the most. But yesterday, I was literally singing Wacko's 50 States and Capitals song because it was stuck in my head. And it's because of that song I actually passed my American... Was it history or... one of my history classes because I had that song memorized. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio. There's Montgomery, Alabama, South of Montana. Got Denver, Colorado, and Boise, Idaho. Texas has Austin, then we go north to Montpelier, which is up in Vermont. Where else can I... My overachieving ass wants to keep going. Like, once it was like, okay, I'll finish the eye color and block out the base color, you know, just so for the next time I can just start straight into the coloring. But then it's like, no, please. My body, it hurts. My throat is dying. Just end stream so we can stop talking! And of course, yelling about it isn't helping my throat at all.
And it's Raleigh out of North Carolina, and then there's Madison, Wisconsin, Olympia, and Washington, Phoenix, Arizona, and Lansing, Michigan. Here's Honolulu, Hawaii is the joy. Columbia down the way, Annapolis, Maryland, on Chesapeake Bay. They have a wonderful clam chowder.
That's on the wrong layer. Okay, that's the first time we did that this stream. First, mark that on your calendar, guys. We almost went an entire stream without drawing something on the wrong layer. We this close, man.
What else am I missing? Oh, okay. Snowblaze and then Brindlefur. And then we're done. Then I can take a break. Then I can watch Marble Hornets. And take some cough medicine. Almost done, guys. And then I'll set you free. Set you free. Like you're obligated to be here in any way, shape, or form. Almost. We gotta do the whites. No, we gotta do the whites. Almost done, broskies. Home stretch. Home stretch. Almost. Hold on. Almost there. Almost there. Hits away. There we go. Finally. God dang. That is just the line art done. And that was just the bottom of line art. Oh my god. This is why it takes me so dang long to finish anything when I'm streaming. Because I'm just yapping the whole time. Holy crap. I am probably gonna finish this off stream later. I'm tired, man. I'll probably just do the flats and then next stream, whether it be on Twitch or here on YouTube, it'll be the background. Because backgrounds are fun. Or vice versa, I don't know. Save! Okay. If you're begging for more streams from me, I stream also on Twitch.
occasionally, I don't know when, but on YouTube, I try to stream every Friday. Try is the key word. I've also been thinking about making. I have ideas for some videos, but don't hold your breath. I've mostly, since August is such a bullshit month for me, and it's so dang hot and busy, I have just been writing away from stream. I haven't been really doing a whole lot of illustrations. So that's that. And then September is September over on Twitch, so I'm definitely going to be streaming over there a lot in September. And then October, I'm going to be doing fall illustrations, which is just fall themed illustrations all month or every other day. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming that on Twitch or YouTube or both, but you definitely will be seeing it on both. So what's September? Oh, on Twitch, September is just when subscriptions are at a major discount. I don't know what the discount is this year, but September is basically when they encourage streamers to advertise their subscriptions, which is basically just how you can support an artist or a streamer and then get no ads if you're a subscriber, which is awesome. With your Twitch Prime membership, I hate advertising it, but I like, you know, if there's a chance I could make this work as a job, I do need to get on advertising more, so there's that. Anything else? All my social media links are linked down in the description. Stream Fridays, also stream on Twitch, which is also linked. Upcoming projects, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest of August is just gonna be random bullshit go. And it's mostly gonna be away from stream because it's so flipping hot and I don't want my computer to overheat. Yeah, it already feels pretty hot in here. So, I'm gonna leave it here. And on YouTube, I will be seeing you next Friday, hopefully, if nothing else comes up. And possibly videos. Possibly not. Anyway. I'll see you later, whenever that may be. Where the hell is my cursor? There it is. Jeez. Anyway, we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.